calculating an age from a birth date isn't as easy as you would hope because of the leap years. However, Excel has a built-in function that allows you to do that. It's a function called Datedif that is actually more than just an age function. You could use it to calculate the difference between two dates. In this case, we have a birth date and a death date, and we could find out how old they were when they died, or we could find out how old they would be today if they were still alive. But imagine you had two dates for something else. Let's say you had restaurant inspections and you know the most recent date that the place was inspected, and then you know the prior date it was inspected, and you can see how much time elapsed between those two inspections. And Datedif allows you to express that elapsed time in years, months, or days. So it's very flexible in the application that it can be used for. But just think of it as a way to look at elapsed time between two dates. Like I said, the most common, though, of course, that we might use it for is age of a person. So of course you need their birth date, and then you need to give it a second date. So let me show you what. So Datedif has several functions. The kind of the birth date or the oldest date would be the first thing, and then you need a second date, and then you need to tell it, do you want to do years, months, or days as your expression. And so you'd do a Y or a D or a YM for months elapsed. That's in the notes on the site. Most of the time we're going to do this. So we're going to use that birth date, and then the second, I'm going to show you two different ways to do this with that second date. So that's just how it looks. Let's actually do a formula here. So equal Datedif, if I can spell this morning, and we're going to put in their birth date, I5, and then we're going to say how old were they when they died. So that's the second date. Then would be J5, their death date, and then we'll put Y. They were 63. So that second date is a hard date that's stored in our data. You can also do how old are they today. And I'm going to show you a couple, or as of a particular date. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways. So if we say Datedif and we put in their birth date, I5, and then we could hard code in today's date. It's actually April 2020. And then we can say Y. How old would they be as of today? 76. Now, another way to do it, instead of hard coding that date in there, is you can use another function in Excel called today that will grab today's date from your time clock and put it in. And of course, it's still going to say 76 because that is today. But now, let's say you open this up, and let me see if there's anybody. Here's somebody born in June. Let's say you leave this file, and this person is born in June, and they would be 74 today, or as of today. Let's say you open this up on June 10th or even June 9th. This number will automatically change to 75 because it recalculates it on the fly if you leave that formula in there and use that today function. I tell beat reporters that, let's say they have, public figures that they're following on a regular basis, and maybe you keep a list of those public figures and their birth dates. If you can get them, that would be great. And you could put this function in your spreadsheet, and each time you need to open your spreadsheet to find out how old they are, it'll be automatically updated for you. So that would be useful for someone who's covering public officials, or let's say you're covering an NFL football team or a Major League Baseball team or something like that, and you have the roster and the coaches and things like that all stored inside.